All right, we're back from the NFL sports segment, and we're into HSC Podcast 173 weekly movie review. So we had some good reviews lately. A lot of views on the channel from them, and some comments. So if you want us to review anything, it's Christmas time. We're happy to get some Christmas movies in there, top fives. Go ahead and leave that in the comments. So we got a couple interesting ones, some Christmas movies that you might not have seen, that you maybe should see. So we're doing a couple of those Christmas movies, and then we have an interesting segment this week where we're going to talk about movies as a collective for a whole year, and kind of reviewing the last, I don't, you probably went back as far as I did to the 30s, right? So, last almost 100 years of movies, and picking a year that, really stands out for us as far as which year collectively had the best movies. And so let's start with that segment here. As you look at this, we talked a little bit about this earlier, and just maybe let's let's kind of point this out to the listeners. Looking to me at the 80s and the 90s, if you go year by year, it's really hard to see any other decades that year over year just had that many consistent movies in it. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's also because through our rose-colored glasses, that's what we grew up with is the 80s and 90s. Uh, but yes, I agree. It's like there's some I you can argue some of the years in the 70s had some pretty really great movies. And then in the early 2000s,
Yeah, 2000s. I mean, 2010s. There's good movies, right? And because I mean, look, we're a fan of cinema, right? It doesn't. Yeah, there's our age group where we were growing up with movies, but still, like, I mean, I can grab a movie in 2000, 13 and say, I love this movie. It's a great movie, just as good as, any movies I've seen before in the past. It's the collective for the years.
right.
It just doesn't seem like they can put together more than three or four, real good movies in a year. So that was my experience as I was kind of just researching now and going year by year. But that doesn't mean, that's where we landed. So let's start with, the years that we picked, and then we'll give you a quick breakdown of, what movies were in it, why we picked it, and why we think that stands out, as the year itself. I'll go first. This was really tough. And I went back and forth and back and forth on like three different years for a while and breaking down the movies. And so I'm hoping we didn't land on the same year. But I'm going with 1984. And so I'm just going to kind of start by just talking about some of the movies, right? And then give a quick overview. So 1984, you've got Terminator, Ghostbusters, The Karate Kid. And so for right there, like you just put those three movies in any year, you're like, that's a good year, right? And then you start looking at it and you're like, okay, I'm going to add in Beverly Hills Cop, Gremlins, Footloose, right? So three great movies again, right? So now you got three on top of three. So when I look at those six movies as a collective, I'm like, wow, what a great year this was. And you still got more movies in your back pocket here, right? And so Nightmare on Elm Street came out. The Never Ending Story, which is just one of our kids' classics. And then even the other movies like This Is Spinal Tap, Amadeus, and then The Muppets Take Manhattan. I'm not gonna lie, great movie. So just as a collective, this one for me, I end up going with this one, and there's a couple reasons. So number one reason, it's got a lot of good movies, right? There's probably none of those movies are going to stick out maybe as one of the best movies ever, but they're all just really good. They're very watchable. You can watch them, over and over again, and they'll still be good. But there's also a lot of good movies within different genres or just styles, plots, of what they're actually going through. It's like you can go from ghosts to robots to dancing to gremlins to even some bad 80s horror flick and Nightmare on Elm Street. So overall I liked the amount of different types of movies that are were in this year, and then they were all pretty high quality. And then I mean, Karate Kid, come on, we're sweeping the leg here. 84 sweeping the leg. So that's kind of my overview. 84. Uh, let's give your kind of thoughts on 84 first, and then tell us about your year.
84 was a great year and it had lots of good hits. But the year I had 47 movies that are awesome. And I'm going with 1985.
Oh man.
When you had, well, we reviewed it. Fletch was 1985. St. Elmo's Fire, Breakfast Club, Goonies, Better Off Dead, Rambo Part 2, First Blood, Back to the Future, Real Genius, Brewster's Millions, A View to a Kill, Vision Quest, Jewel of the Nile, Silver Bullet, Pale Rider, Silverado, Teen Wolf, Witness, Out of Africa, Clue, Spies Like Us, Legend, National Lampoon's European Vacation, A Room with a View, Legend of Billie Jean, Explorers, Journey of Natty Gann, Lady Hawk, Enemy Mine, Santa Claus the Movie, Weird Science, Rocky 4, Commando, The Color Purple, To Live and Die in LA, Return of the Living Dead, Cocoon, The Black Cauldron, Fright Night, Day of the Dead, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Desperately Seeking Susan, and Red Sonja.
I mean, there's a lot of movies there. So give us and the listeners like a couple sets of three movies. Like
Okay.
just pick out
Well, you
three
got
great movies and another set of three great movies.
well, you just start off with you got your John Hughes. You've got St. Elmo's Fire, Breakfast Club, and I know it's not John Hughes, but then Better Off Dead. Those three are classics.
Yeah. Like Breakfast Club for me, it's already one of the top of the list is in movies in general for me. But of those, The Breakfast Club really stands out. But it stands out for in that year as one of the top movies of the year.
Oh, and I forgot. So another John Hughes was Weird Science. So there you go. There was three John Hughes. Then you've got Back to the Future. Um, Going through this list is so many. Teen Wolf and Real Genius. I mean,
What about the Goonies?
and the Goonies. I mean, there's just so many on this list.
Yeah.
It's like you said, there's a wide variety. I mean, horror movies. You have Day of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, and then Fright Night, right?
What about Sesame Street Presents Follow
Yes,
That
one
Bird?
I didn't put on the list. But like, and then you have your Rambo 2, Part 2, Commando, Rocky 4.
Your Rocky Four was good. Rocky Four is really good. But Back to the Future again. So this is for when you look at a year, you got to have the cornerstone movie, and that's got to be Back to the Future.
Well, like you said, if you want to go cornerstone, it's Goonies, Breakfast Club, and Back to the Future.
Right. Yeah. So that's when I say 1985, if I'm going to say, we're going to go for our top three, that's probably what you're picking there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, I mean, Goonies and Back to the Future for sure, right? You got those two. Breakfast Club, other people might see some of the other movies as good as that one. But yeah, you're definitely looking at Back to the Future and Goonies there.
The Color Purple.
Yeah,
That was
it's good.
big.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I looked at 85. I had a couple other years ahead of 85. It was in near the top. Uh, but when you talk about the depth of 85, there are just that list you just went through. There's just so many good movies, not great movies, but just good movies.
Yeah, I think I knew about this because there was a picture of a movie theater and it had at the same time Goonies, Breakfast Club, and Back to the Future all playing at the same time.
Yeah,
Like you're think about that.
no, that's
Like
great. What a
going to
night.
the theater now, you're like, oh man. But like think about that. You could go in and you're like, oh man, I could go see all these movies.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in for the long hauls today, watching them
Then I
all.
forgot what was the biggest of 84?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is there was just so many good ones, but for me, like Terminator and Karate Kid and Ghostbusters, like if I'm gonna pick my top three, those are it. But you still have Gremlins, Beverly Hills Cop, Footloose.
Well, because I think it was um either Karate Kid or Terminator was still playing in 85.
Right.
And so that was in the theater with it.
Yeah, carrying over makes it even better, right? I mean, 84 had a ton of other movies too that I didn't name all of them, but some of the just the how many big ones 84 had was for me, it just had a little more depth as far as the real good movies, top
Well, I don't
ones.
know because think about this. You got Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That was an iconic. No, it is. That's a cult
Oh, I
classic.
know. I watched it a million times. I love it.
Um, Clue. Clue is like a huge cult classic.
Yeah.
Uh, the Day of the Dead is like considered one of the best zombie movies.
So another year, let's talk about this for a second. Another year I looked at. So pull this up real quick and let's go through this for a second. But 87, when I started looking at 87 with Fatal Attraction, The Untouchables, The Princess Bride, Dirty Dancing, Full Metal Jacket, Wall Street, The Lost Boys, Predator, Lethal Weapon. I mean, I was like, wow, this one's getting pretty deep. Broadcast news, Good Morning Vietnam, trains, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Stakeout, Roxanne, Mannequin, Inner Space, The
So
Running.
87 was, what do you think of 87?
87 has lots of good ones too. But then it's Teen Wolf 2, not Teen Wolf.
It just lost it right there. But
Yeah,
Raising
but then like I
Arizona,
go further and then yeah, you got La Bamba over the top, but I don't think it has as many as 85.
there's some good ones though in
There are
in
good
that
ones,
list.
but I just don't think it's got the depth.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what I was went back and forth with, so let's talk about another year as far as then not as maybe not as much depth, but like a high upside, the high quality movies, maybe not as many movies. Uh I took a look at 95. So 95 had Braveheart, Seven, Apollo 13, Toy Story, The Usual Suspects, Heat, 12 Monkeys. I mean, more than that too, but with just those like top end ones, I was like, that's a really good top end.
Yeah.
So 95 hit me for that reason because it was maybe not as much depth, but the ones that they did have, like they got a really big front loaded of their movies, big time movies.
Right. And well, what I loved about back then, and like 95 is a perfect year to talk about. That's when you had indie movies. I mean, some of the other ones you didn't we talk about, you got like Clockers, Spike Lee. You have To Die For, great movie, Gus Van Sant. You remember To Die For?
Yeah, yeah, Gus Van Sant. It's great.
Um, Dead Man Walking. And then this is such an underrated horror movie, Demon Knight.
Yeah,
Tales from the Crypt,
dude,
Demon Knight.
dude, that was so wild the first time I watched it. But it's good. But then, I mean, even then, like I said, they still have some other good movies like Leaving Las Vegas and Casino and Clueless and those kind of. But
Four Rooms.
that just when I kind of name off the six from 84, 85, when you look at the just the like I said, the top end of that, like let's just say Braveheart 7, Toy Story, like brutal, right? And then you're gonna Usual Suspects, Heat, and Apollo 13.
Right. Well, yeah, I would. And then you got, cause yeah, I would do, if I was going to pick the top three, it'd be Heat, Usual Suspects, and Seven.
Seven. But I mean, Braveheart for me, it's one of my favorite movies.
I can't believe Seven and 12 Monkeys was the same season or same year.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny also is because like if you're like, well, I'd go with Heat, Usual Suspects, and Casino, right? And you're like all gangster, type movies.
I will never go with Casino. I can't stand Casino. Not
Yeah,
because it's not good. It's just because Sharon Stone is way too good in that movie and I can't stand her. And
yeah.
that she does such a good job.
Well, I
But
mean, Scorsese, man, come on.
you know,
But that was another. Any years that stuck out for you that we didn't talk about?
what was it? It was
Because there's lots of good ones. It's just it's so hard to because I mean you got like 94, that Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, Forrest Gump.
um 97.
Oh yeah.
97 it's 97. Like you had LA Confidential, you had Goodwill Hunting, um, you know,
Men in Black, Life is Beautiful. Of course, Titanic, it's not our favorite, but God, people love it.
Dante's Peak, or not Dante, Donnie Brasco, Dante's Peak, Jackie Brown, The Fifth Element, Contact, uh, Rainmaker.
I know you did last summer. I know people don't. I love it. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
Gattaca is a great movie. 7 Years in Tibet. Suicide Kings is a great indie movie. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely that was in the list for sure. 97 was. So we had a lot of 90s, a lot of 80s there. Just for fun, if you had to go later, or later years for us, but like more present day, um, like maybe post 2015 or something. Is there any?
I don't think there's anything post.
Well, I mean, like 2019, for example, I looked at that. That was one on the list, and it had Parasite, but then it's like, well, it still had Toy Story 4, The Irishman,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Knives Out was okay. I mean,
Jojo Rabbit, but it does not need, and that's the thing. I think, like I said, with the death of the indie film, it destroys the um depth of everything in the year.
yeah, because they don't have to anymore, right?
And then I hate to say it because I love it, but it's also I'm gonna sound like Scorsese. Comic books have kind of ruined the comic book movies have kind of ruined everything.
Right. I mean, it's because they're just everywhere. Then there's so many of them, and it's almost, and it's so easy, you know, for them to write those.
And like where I'm not gonna go to the theater and spend $60 because that's what it is now, pretty much, and go see an indie movie, right? You're going to
Right.
the theater to see big blockbuster movies because you want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hadn't been to the theater in a while, you know, everything obviously now, why would I do that when I can stream or watch it here? But Brooklyn really wanted to go see Five Nights at Freddy's, the new one.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was cool to be in a theater, but yeah, you're right. It was, you know, so expensive, you know, and
Yeah,
obviously
me.
by the time you get popcorn and everything like that, yeah, you're in 70 bucks, 80
Yeah, that
bucks.
was for me. It was, because I have a 9-year-old. Zootopia 2, we went and
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah, so you still got to get to the theaters from time to time, but man, it's definitely expensive. But it's also, you're right, the selection's not great either of what's available anymore. Like, you know, I felt like if I could go there and choose from five good movies, I'm okay, you know.
Gosh, when we were younger and we like would just stay in the movie theater all day and just hop from movie to movie.
Just keep watching them.
Go to different, it's like, oh, this one's here, and then I'll just move over to the next theater or next thing to watch this movie.
But that was a great exercise, you know, and again, it's stuff, it's review, right? Stuff we know or we've seen, or you know, but when you look at them in that yearly breakdown, it was kind of cool to go back and do that and um, analyze it a little bit of the different movies and how you could group them together and say what makes a great collective. All right, so uh, this week's review. I talked about it a little bit earlier. It's Christmas time. We're doing Christmas movies, and we got some Christmas movies you've probably never seen that maybe you should see, and they're not your typical Christmas movies. So the first one, obviously, far from well, it's not really far from your typical Christmas movie. We'll make some comparisons here, but you chose Violent Night, and this is a newer movie.
Yeah, I think well, this one's probably more popular because it is newer. Uh, but it's David Harbour plays Santa Claus, and he's basically kind of done because everyone just wants gift cards and video games now, and everyone's doesn't care about Christmas spirit. He goes to this house, this mansion, and he gets into a middle of a takeover of like a bunch of hostage situation where they're trying to steal money and everything, and he has to save the day violently.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of an understatement.
Yeah, and they make the backstory that Santa was actually like a Viking, right?
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was interesting because it was I think I had it in there as past Nikomun the Red.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he has kind of like flashbacks almost of, you know, when his Viking past.
He was
It's Go ahead.
well when he even said when I was naughty, I used to be naughty.
Right, when he's having the conversation. I like how they have the little girl, the Trudy, she escapes from the parents, right? And she's hiding out from the kidnappers or the, you know, the people holding them hostage, and then she gets on her little radio and going back and forth with Santa. It's a fun because the movie already has that Die Hard feel, and that gives you that extra Die Hard feel, right? Except, you know, she's, you know, the he's
The
John
cop.
McClane and she's the cop.
Yeah. And then she puts in Home Alone into it, which was
Right. So you got Violent Night slash Home Alone, Die Hard, all happening in one movie. That's the way I saw it and I think that's what they were going for, right? I think they were trying to give you that feel, of both of those, and you just get it as you watch the movie.
Yeah. Well, and then it had Die Hard 2 also.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, go ahead. Tell them about it.
Oh well, the death squad came to think to save him, but they actually had joined with the hostage, with the people holding him hostage to also to steal the money. So it's like, oh, and they came in on like um on ski mobiles just like in
Yeah.
Die Hard 2.
So just like in Die Hard 2, they come in and then the first thing they do is they just shoot the guy and then they're turned and they're bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting lines, sometimes over the top a little bit, but funny at the same time. So that's kind of it does have a little comedy, more than a little comedy to it as well.
Yeah. Stick it up there.
That's one of the best ones where, where Trudy, we talked about her earlier. She's going back and forth with Santa. They have some great conversations. Uh, and then when, the henchmen are really good too. John Leguizamo was great as the leader of the bad guys. But the henchmen have some funny parts as well.
Yeah, Krampus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the girl, and then yeah,
And he goes by Scrooge too. That's
right.
also great. So, I mean, it's a good movie, actually. I hadn't seen it before, and so, but it's a new, so there's probably a lot of people who haven't seen this. So if you haven't seen Violent Night, it's not what you would think from the thumbnail.
Right.
Like you
You're
just
thinking more like a horror movie or whatever it
right
is.
when you look at it, you think it's going to be some kind of Christmas slasher.
And yeah, I added it. I saw it in 2022, and it's been in my rotation every Christmas now.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's a great pick there. So Violent Night, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And so for the next movie, we're going back in time a little bit again, back to the 90s. And so this is The Ref. And if you haven't seen The Ref, you got to see The Ref. It be not just because it's Christmas movie, but it's great for the holiday seasons, but it's also just a great movie about kind of life and like the whole marriage and families and how they interact in the holiday seasons. So that's one of the parts I like about this movie. But also you have Dennis Leary in it, and he's just great. This is when he was, for me, at his prime. He was just so funny at this point. And so the movie's called The Ref, and he's a burglar and he breaks into a house. He almost gets caught, and he's on the run, and he runs into this couple who's Kevin Spacey and what's her name, Judy Davis,
Yep.
and he ends up kind of taking them hostage almost in their own home, holding them at gunpoint. And they have their family. Well, first of all, their marriage is screwed up. That's where the ref comes in, and he's kind of playing the referee between them. But then they have like a screwed up family situation with in-laws coming in. But there's a great part about connecting that Dennis Leary does with the son, because the son is a problem child. He's away at military camp or school or whatever, and but the relationship that he builds with Dennis Leary in it through like this mutual, like they're both in bad places. It kind of helps him bring the kid back to his parents a little bit and a little closer in that. So there's some good life lessons in it, but it's funny. And then when the in-laws come in, it gets so good. And because everybody hates the in-laws, and then now they're all working against them. And then at the end, it's got the fun ending to it. And then Kevin Spacey, just he's great. He's playing his typical role. It's dry. he's so forward, but then his wife like did all these bad things, and like he keeps calling her out on him. So it's really just it's such a good movie to just learn about, family around the holidays, and Dennis Leary does a great job of playing that middleman.
Yeah, it's like he wants to get away, and then he gets stuck with the most dysfunctional couple. He even makes a quip. He's like, "Great, I kidnapped my parents."
Right.
And then that's what Christine Baranski plays the sister-in-law, and she's great. Glynis Johns, the mom from Mary Poppins, plays
Oh
the
yeah.
grandma, and oh, she's just. And what's great about it is true. It's like at the very beginning, you have BD Wong as their therapist talking to him, and he is basically, okay, I'm not taking sides, and da da da. And then Dennis Leary comes in, and basically he's like, you both are effed up.
Right.
And he's like, you did this. And then he goes to Kevin Spacey, and you did this, right? And then it's like he calls them out on their crap.
Yeah, instead of their because that's great because of the scene that they get with the therapist at the beginning. It's not like yeah, you're right. He's not like holding them accountable for anything.
Right. And then Dennis Leary basically is like, no, you both are full of crap. Nice. It's like it's funny because he actually does better than the therapist to get them to realize the Christmas
Right.
spirit.
And well, and also he befriends them by realizing how bad, the other part of the family is, especially you know, uh,
The
Kevin
grandma, the
Spacey's
mom.
mom, you know, in that situation, and just how that then they got them in a whole nother room.
And
It's just
they have the kids tie him up.
right. They have their own kids tie them up. It's just so good. Like it's so well written. There's a lot of comedy in it, but there's a lot of heartfelt family stuff happening. It's the holiday season, so you got all these different things, playing in there. But I think the best part of the movie really is the relationship that develops between the kid Jesse and Gus, who's played by Dennis Leary, and you see a change in the kid throughout the movie, which is you're like you're hoping for that because he's so bad at the beginning.
Yeah, blackmailing is like the whatever the principal or whatever he was.
Whoever runs the military school.
Yeah, I mean, which was played by J.K. Simmons, and he's always great.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like we talked earlier, the guy that played Santa Claus was great. The going around got drunk.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of thing that's written into it, right? It's like you could just have a Santa Claus, you could not have a Santa Claus, but they're like, wouldn't it be better if we had like this drunk Santa Claus running
Going
around?
around dropping off fruitcakes that are horrible.
Right. So it's a great movie and it's older. So for me, when it's done in that mid 90s era, even earlier, they're well written, they're well filmed. Everything is with purpose in the movie. There's reasons behind every scene, and it all builds up, to the storyline. So it's a good movie. I mean, I've watched it a lot, but just every time I rewatch it, I'm like, man, this movie's just great.
I used to own it on VHS.
Most of our listeners probably don't know what a VHS is.
I bought it at Tower Records.
Tower Records. I had a lot of VHSs. All right. Well, so those are the two movies we got. So we don't have Wes here, but I want to talk about his movie and just quickly. People may have seen this, may not. This is a 2017 British Christmas musical zombie film. I mean, come on. So it's called Anna and the Apocalypse, and I had never seen it, anything, clips, heard about it, nothing. I wasn't ready for it. But man, what did you think of this movie?
I think. like in the back of my brain, I think I saw something about it a long time ago, like, because it's like a musical and stuff, but then I had no idea. So I'm watching it and I like the idea. The acting is horrible. The singing is not very good. Um, but I like the premise of the movie, except I don't like Anna. I don't like her character at all. As like she doesn't do it on purpose, but she screws over everyone that cares about her just so she can get out.
Yeah. Yeah, like pretty much throughout the whole movie as well, right? Until the very end, then it's like it's too late now. Like,
All these people that loved you died for you.
right, and you can't just like be be good now, right? At the end. Uh, but you're right. The premise and the writing, I thought about whoever thought of this was like, this is gonna be great. And you want it to be great, I guess. As I'm watching it, like I want it to be not great. It'll never be great. I'm using the wrong word there. You want
It
it
was
to
a
be good and watchable.
right, because it was a nice, like, it's an original idea, which is
Yeah,
cool.
right. That's what we want, right? We want new,
Yeah.
cool, original ideas, stuff that hasn't been done over and over again. And then I got to be honest, I love a good musical. I
But
don't
that
mind the
wasn't a good
musical.
musical, though. That's the problem.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I just don't mind the musical part where that might throw other people off or push them away from the movies. I don't mind them busting out into song every once in a while. Because it's funny about that for me. I always think about what if that was like real life and like somebody just busted out into song when you're like hanging out.
Awesome. Like talking about their feelings, but
Right. They just bust out into song. Like that would be awesome. So I don't mind that. The music was the singing was bad. The lyrics and the music was bad, but like again, it was a cool idea to just to have these random songs throughout the movie. But really, I mean, just to break it down, it's not complicated. It's these kids in high school at Christmas time, and then all of a sudden they're in a zombie apocalypse. There was the one part with the teacher, right, or the principal. I don't even know what he is. I think he's a soon to be principal.
yeah.
Where he like ends up being the bad guy in the whole situation, like trying to get them all like eaten by zombies and things like that. And I don't know, that part was weird for me.
Yeah. He was, well, you knew like at the very beginning, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be a jerk.
Right. But then he's like tying them up and like locking them in. Like it's one thing to be like, I'm gonna make your life miserable as a student next year. It's another thing to be like, I'm gonna make you get eaten by zombies.
Right.
It's a little much. So I mean overall I mean I probably wouldn't watch it again. Most stuff for me is worth watching one time. It's really hard for me to say or turn a movie off because I just enjoy cinema. This one was one that was close a couple times where I was like, man, I don't know if I want to finish this, but I'm glad I did. So it's called Anne and the Apocalypse. It's again a Christmas movie that you probably never seen. This one I don't know if you should, but if you're feeling up for a zombie Christmas British musical, check it out. So those are the three for this week. The Wrath, Violent Night, and that one. So all good movies. We'll put the shorts on them. Leave some comments what you think if you check them out. But again, if you're still watching on our movie side, always looking for recommendations. So don't forget to leave any comments. Let us know what you want to hear about, see. We're happy to review anything.
Pretty much we got to do Christmas next week, though.
Right. No, it's Christmas time right now. So, we're in Christmas mode. It's that time of year and we'll be giving you more Christmas, but top fives, anything like that, happy to do them. So, all right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.